Well, thanks very much for the opportunity to share in this session. And many of us at this conference met at the conference in Dundee in Scotland, and that was, of course, an inspiring event. And we were, of course, looking forward to meeting people again at this one here. So just to mention that. Just to say, as far as my abstract is concerned, that's the time limits made it too difficult to think of the prospect of literally people speaking from local projects. So we are hoping that after this conference, we might make some links and have a webinar so that the voices across projects might be shared and heard. However, I thought you might welcome some insight into our faith and community project. And we have a network of over 10 different projects across a wide geographical area in northeast England. And a key aim of the network of projects is to explore how they can share information and advice. Just to say that this FIC project marks quite an important development in faith dialogue about the role of community development from a faith-based setting, with a focus on the sustainability and resilience of neighbourhoods and communities. The core values of social justice, self-determination, working and learning together, enabling participation, and importantly, critically reflecting on practice are the pillars of this FIC project, Faith and Community Project. And these relate well to the project's liberation theology frame of reference. I think we would wish to say that it's not a radical project really, but it has liberated faith for action in the neighbourhoods where it is active. I think the important part to say something is about the original origin of the network, in that the resources and the money and the projects were developed in the 10% most disadvantaged communities in the area of the northeast England. And many communities in this location have historically experienced marginalisation and effectively social and economic exclusion. The current COVID pandemic has hugely increased the challenges in this area, and it's resulting in increasing debts, the risk of homelessness, unemployment, poverty, and economic sustainability challenges. And obviously people involved in community development, as we heard in yesterday's talks, need to be alert to and vigilant about changes in the social and political context within which they work. They need to be able to explain what they're doing at any stage of the community development process, and obviously why they're actually doing it. Also to think about the factors and forces that enhance their resilience and empowerment, which are, of course, central to the themes of this conference. I think we can say from our experience that the northeast of England is marked by communities in the process of transition. Like many areas of other parts of the world, the decline of major employment in coal, mining, shipbuilding, and other heavy industries have the legacy of the resultant health and well-being problems. And this has given rise to the immense deprivation in the context where we're working. Regeneration initiatives over the years have shown only extremely limited impact on these concerns. Important for the topic, that this is the challenge of reflecting on what people in the projects, when listening to them, what do they think is their distinctive contribution? And we've gathered some of the findings under the notion of presence. what does a community development presence mean in your situation or in their situation? And we've gathered these around a few headings which we might find useful for discussion later. Firstly, a strategic presence, being able to see things holistically, promoting social cohesion, encouraging cooperation and improving connectedness through enhancing bonding, bridging and linking different forms of social activity. Then, of course, people talked about a critical presence, engaging in critical social analysis, drawing attention to inequalities and evaluating the outcomes of public services. That maybe proofing all social policies is a work that some of the projects try to do in terms of what is actually happening in terms of public services. It's of course an affirming presence, which was very, very key to our projects, through aiming to empower individuals and groups and negotiate for the resource requirements that they need. I'll move fairly quickly now. A resisting presence, a discerning presence, being prepared to question the given situation and be alert to critical analysis of the values behind policies and practices. So we've tried to build a kind of framework for what can be called transformational practice. And the learning programs and training programs, I've used the IACD framework of community development work and linked them to faith perspectives. And we try to express these in obvious things that are concern for social justice, promoting participation, advocating equality, learning from each other, cooperation and collaboration, and working together to identify and implement action based on mutual respect of different cultures, faiths, and contribution. I think it's broadly accepted in certainly in the UK that faith groups have a rich source of assets and have the potential to motivate people into active citizenship. And this includes community engagement, connectedness, and social action. And the vision of this particular project is to find ways to energize and appropriately release this potential. I think this particular network of projects has illustrated that some churches and their members often lack the confidence to engage in social political activity. I think that's very, very clear to our work. And a key task for the future is to provide a structure and support system for these faith groups to engage more effectively with political and governmental structures. And obviously, this is quite a challenge to faith groups who have a very traditional way of working. So a variety of learning programs have been developed, and if time permits in discussion, we can illustrate what these amount to and how we go about that in terms of day-to-day activity. The challenge, of course, is to see things through the lens of those who are oppressed and in disadvantaged situations, and try to take on the challenges of an increasingly fractured and self-interest society, which is what we find in the UK. So thanks very much, Kenya.